Wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about getting started. If you're thinking about becoming a reseller, what I've learned. I am new to this, so I might have a different perspective than some of these people who have been on the platforms for a really long time or been reselling for a really long time. And I think that I might have something to offer that they don't. Because I feel like the further you get away from being new, you forget kind of what the challenges were when you were new, unless you just kind of visit them often. So what I want to talk about is if you're thinking about getting started in reselling, sorry, my helper here. If you're thinking about getting started reselling, there are a couple things that you need to really think about, okay? First of all is time. Do you have enough time to devote to doing this? You know, do you have a 40-hour job? Are you a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids? Where can you put that in? Okay. 2 is space. Do you have the physical space? See this room? This is our dining room. My dining room table is underneath there now. And that's where I photograph. But if you don't have dedicated space either in your home or in a warehouse or something that you can use, that might be a big downfall immediately. So those are the first 2 kind of that I want to talk about, because those are the things that you really need to think about that I did not think about a lot whenever I got started. Okay. So time. I did think, okay, do I have time to do this? Okay. And really my brain went to, do I have time not to do this? I wanted something different. I mean, I teach part-time at a university and I love it, and I have been doing it for 20 years, but I wanted something different. I can retire in 8 years and I'll still be plenty young enough, and I wanted some extra income now for us to travel or to put towards retirement or whatever I need to do. So do you have the time? Since I teach remote and online, I am able to work pretty much however I want to. So I thought I had tons of time. I just thought I had tons of time. Okay. I only have one child at home still, and she's able to drive now. So she pretty much drives wherever she needs to go. We do homeschool though. So she is home during the day and we're doing some stuff here and there. But for the most part, I'm not a full hands-on teacher anymore with her. So I'm thinking, oh, I've got 1 graduated and I've got only 1 at home. I got tons of time. What can I get myself into? Ooh, reselling. I love thrifting. Okay. So that's kind of where the adventure started. I bought something one time and I'm like for $4 or $5. And I thought, man, this thing is worth like $150. They did not know what they had. I could sell this. So that's kind of what started me down the resale path. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so it was always like take hand-me-downs or second rounds or whatever you want to call them. And I just love the idea of not clogging up a garbage heap at the city dump, or if I can find something where I live that somebody in California wants and get it to them, why not, right? And make a little money doing something that I love and I'm having fun doing. So time. That all goes back to time. How much time do I have? Well, I thought, I could easily give a couple, 2-3 hours a day to thrifting, sourcing, setting it up, getting it out. I'm like, how hard could this be, right? You just put it on eBay, take a picture and you put it on eBay. Because I've bought from eBay a couple times over the years, kind of when it was all more auction sites, whatever. So I didn't really feel like it was going to be that big a deal. Well, let me just tell you, it takes a lot of time. At least when you get started and you're learning the platforms. At least for me it did. I'm not going to say that everybody has the exact same experience, but I feel like anybody that tells you that they don't put much time into it is either lying or grossly underestimating the time that they have into something and they just didn't really realize it. So as far as time goes for me, the thrifting, I cannot run into a thrift store or Goodwill or whatever and be in there for 5 minutes. I mean, I just can't. I'm not a speed thrifter. I mean, I feel like a true thrifter I mean, you touch every single piece of clothing on the rack. And I mean, and I've gotten much better at the brands and stuff. And so I know what I'm looking for. Okay. Um, and so I am faster whenever it comes to that. However, at the beginning, you're going to want to look at every single tag. You're going to look at the full condition of every single thing. You're going to think, oh my God, this is so pretty. I love it. It's so cute. I want this. You are not buying for your personal closet. You are buying for what you think is going to sell. It might be absolutely horrific in your opinion, but if it's set, the sell-through rate is like 80, 90%, you pick it up. Okay. So that's a whole nother video. But so in the beginning, the sourcing will take more time. At least in my experience, it took more time. I am getting faster, but it's still, I can go in the Goodwill or go to the bins and be in there for 3 to 5 hours and still be like, I did not touch all the stuff in here. And it's just kind of crazy. So the sourcing is time. Okay. Now, some people only source once a week. Some people only source once a month. You know, however you want to do it. It just kind of depends on the location and your access to stuff. I live in Central Arkansas. So right now it's January. There's not yard sales. So whereas in the summer, there's yard sales. So that's an every weekend occurrence here in my area. So I'll source every weekend usually. The bins, I have one that's about 45 minutes away from me. I've only gone like 3 times, if I'm being honest. But when I go, I'm there for 3, 4, 5 hours. I mean, it's a time suck, complete time suck. Like you forget, it's like a bar or an arcade. You forget how long you've been in there. You emerge and you're like, wow, it is dark already. Like what happened in there? But it is so fun. If you've never been to one, I highly encourage you to at least do it once. The other big thing with time is going to be prepping your inventory. Like if you need to wash it, if you need to mend it, if you need to iron it, whatever you need to do. I have learned in the 6 months for me, myself, I am not picking up shoes anymore because shoes have the most hidden damage or hidden defects, or they're just, I need to clean them. They're dirty, whatever. And that just drives me crazy. At first, I spent all the time cleaning with my toothbrush, letting them dry, all the things. And then to realize that the sole is a little bit loose. You can't sell a shoe that has a loose sole, you know, so different things. And I've read tons of horror stories where people sell these 20-year-old Nikes and the people get them, and the first time they wore them, the sole fell off. I mean, you can't forecast for that, but I mean, it happens. So again, me personally, I'm getting away from shoes unless they're brand new or look like they've really never been used, and I don't have to do anything but sit them on my table, take a picture, and be done with it. Because of all the cleaning. It's just, there's a big cleaning thing. While you're sourcing, the better you check for condition, the better your chances of you getting home without stuff that you have to do that with. Now, a lot of places, like the Goodwill in my area, you can bring it back within 7 days and you'll get an in-store credit. Okay. So that's nice. If I can come home, put it under my bright lights and look, oh, okay, that has stains, or there's a rip, or the pocket's done, or the zipper doesn't zip, I can bring that back. But like the Goodwill bins, girl, they're yours. Okay. Yard sale, it's yours. So I highly encourage you to do your due diligence and be very, very picky whenever you're looking for stuff. And this is another reason that sourcing takes time. Because a stain on an item, nobody wants to buy an item with a stain on it. So, and if you can't get it home and then clean it and get the stain out, that's just wasted time, wasted money, and you just got to throw it away or donate it. So, that's why thrifting does take so much time, or the sourcing does take so much time. The cleaning does take so much time. I have also decided that if there is even a stain on it that I think, oh, I can get that out, I'm not trying. I do not work for a laundromat, and I do not have the skill set. I thought I found some good ways to clean things, but it's just not worth my time. It takes entirely too much time. If you notice in this room, this is my kind of my dead pile, my stock that I like bought a ton in June, July, and it's still sitting in totes because I haven't had time to get it all listed. And I'm looking through stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I would not buy that now. I would not buy that now. I would not buy that now. And so it's definitely different. The things that I thought, oh, I need to buy stuff, get inventory. And then, it's just kind of a crapshoot now. So that's kind of my two biggest things with time is prepping your inventory, sourcing your inventory. And then the next big thing with time is going to be getting the pictures taken. I point right here because I have two little hooks on my wall. I hang them up, I photograph them vertically, and then I have a table over here that I lay them down and I do my measurements. I have learned, again, in 6 months, go ahead and take all the measurements up front. Okay, if it's a shirt, I do pit to pit. If it goes into the waist, I'll measure if it's a smaller. And then at the bottom, I'll also do it if it's wider. I'll do the sleeves. If they're like a strange length, like this is kind of a 3/4 length, I'll do the measurement there. Just so it's indicated that it's a smaller sleeve or something like that. But I've learned to do that because if I don't, inevitably, people will be like, can you give me the measurements for the pit to pit? And then I got to go to my inventory. I've got to take out my inventory. I got to open it up, put it out, measure it all up, type in the measurements to them, upload the pictures to the listing. It takes way more time for me to do that. So knowing what you need to photograph and knowing what you're doing with your initial listing, that will change. You will get better at it. You will get faster at it. But at the beginning, it takes a lot of time. It just does. Okay. There are multiple ways to list items. You can do them platform by platform. So you can do a listing on eBay. You can do a listing on Etsy. You can do a listing on Mercari and Depop, whatever. Okay. Or you can use some type of cross lister. I use Nifty cross lister, and it'll do different things. Like, I like it because I can go into Nifty and upload one listing, and then I can choose what platforms I want to post it out onto. And I can get 4 different platforms all in one listing. I also like it because for Poshmark, if any of y'all are doing Poshmark or looking into Poshmark is very much about engagement and I don't even know exactly what interaction on their platform. I did not understand it necessarily. I did not want to spend the time doing that. So again, with that Nifty, I can set it up to do shares and all these different things, do offers, and that's stuff that it frees up my time to do other things. Okay. Now, unless you know that you want to be in all of those platforms all at once, I wouldn't do that. Just pick one. Personally, I think eBay is the easiest one to list on and to sell on, but a lot of people like Poshmark. Those are definitely my highest 2 sellers, but I would have never done Poshmark without the cross listing because of all the interaction and sharing and stuff that you have to do with that one. So look real close into that. Watch some more videos about Poshmark specifically. It is a great platform, and I love that platform. They have a whole deal with USPS and free packaging. And like I said, they are my number 1 or 2 flip-flop each week or month grossing platforms, but I would have never done it without the listing. It just saves so much time. So anyway, to wrap up this first video about time, know how much time you have and that you can realistically dedicate to this, because I feel that being a part-time reseller, I am part-time because it is not my full-time, it's not my income. I'm not income dependent on this. And if, like today, I did not do anything but just list a few items, and I'm doing this video. Okay. I did not get anything listed, and I won't probably until 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. But, so it's not like having to be at work at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning every single day. I can work around my schedule. It's very, very easy and adaptable to do that. So that's why it's part-time. However, I very easily can put 40 hours in a week and could easily do another 40 hours a week and not be caught up to all of my thrifted inventory that I still need to get listed. So, all right, here's to happy listing and reselling.